introduce Helena Hartford. Helena is the director of Print Cakes, and this morning Helena and myself and my colleague Derek Watson are going to have an informal chat so that we can understand a bit about the Print Cakes business, where it is now, and aspirations, opportunities and challenges for the future. Okay, so we'll just make a start. So I think the first thing that we'd be really interested in learning about is the company history. Just, when you were established and how, how the business was conceived.
So Print Cakes started in 2011. I started in business in 2011. Print Cakes actually started in 2018. It was the very end of 2017. And what I'd been doing since 2011 was running a cake business that was focused around occasions and celebrations. So your weddings, your birthday cakes. And I did that for a long time, but we got quite a few customers who kept coming and asking for corporate cakes. And we had the technology to print logos and images onto cupcakes. And we just saw it as a bit of an opportunity to maybe expand in that direction and move more away from the occasions and wedding cakes, because although they're very interesting to do and they look lovely, they take a long time and it's quite difficult to scale. So I moved away from that in 2017 and we launched Print Cakes in 2018. And we primarily focus on, at the moment, B2B. So it's usually for promotions, for in-house celebrations and company events. And we worked with Google and Virgin Money, and we did, I think it was 6,500 for TransPennine Express when they launched their new franchise and their new logo. So that's the kind of things that we've been doing for the past few years. We've always had an element of we want to get more into like the consumer market. It really helps because we have quite peaks and troughs with the corporate orders. Everything goes a little bit quiet in the summer because obviously people go on holidays, they're not doing as many events. We're really busy from September to December, and then we have a bit of a drop off in January as everybody's kind of getting back into work. Obviously with the past year, we've ended up changing a little bit what we do, whereas instead of sending bulk cupcakes to locations, we've done a lot more of sending individual things. So we send in single cupcakes and single biscuits to multiple addresses across the UK instead of the bigger boxes. And what we'd like to get more into is sending out personalised boxes and birthday boxes, which we are picking up orders quite organically now. So we may be getting like 4 or 5 coming through a day, but we know that's kind of not, like there's a much bigger market for them than what we're currently doing. So that's kind of where we're at the moment.
And so I looked at the website, and there is a focus on everything being homemade, and that's your expertise, is it? That's come from when you started the business, that was something you were interested in.
But yeah, I think that, I don't know whether we totally get it over on the site, something that we're looking at, but I really want people to know that they're not mass-produced cakes, because there are lots of people who offer something similar to what we do on the face of it. So I kind of see people as, so there's like the Vista prints, where I think that, there's definitely a market and there's people who want those, and it's kind of churning them out. And I would say they don't look as good as ours, and I know their ingredients are a lot different. So for our point of difference, we want to make sure that people know that cakes are all made from scratch, or by hand with good ingredients, and that means that when you give them to somebody, they're going to get the right experience from them.
Product portfolio, is it all cupcakes, Helena, or that's your product? It's a cupcake. Oh, you mentioned biscuits as well.
Yeah, the cupcakes are the main product at the moment, but we've branched into, we do quite a lot of biscuits now. we're actually doing some today for a book launch. So
Nice.
they're going to be like in the shape of the book cover with the full book cover on. So we definitely, we've been doing a lot of biscuits this last year. We're looking at starting doing like brownies and chocolates, but we really want to make sure that we kind of know exactly what we're doing and we get the processes right for the products that we've got right now.
Yeah.
And then we can move on to others. So we've been doing a lot more of teaming them up. So we'll send the biscuits out with a tea bag and a coffee. So it's a little biscuit like letterbox, especially for home workers at the moment. And then we've got hot chocolate boxes and things like that, which I can totally see how they would work well for the consumer side as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely idea. You position yourselves on a quality level with regard to some of your competitors that you mentioned. So who would be the main competitors, and how do you see how do you differentiate Print Cakes? I think you've already mentioned that you want to focus on the handmade and that side of it, but what are the other kind of, I suppose we call them, unique propositions?
I think I think it'd be slightly different for the business side and the consumer side, but especially for the business side, obviously it's about the quality, it's about the trust as well. I think that I get a lot of people, they're ordering quite a big number and they're ordering on behalf of somebody maybe above them or for their business, so it's quite an important thing, and they want to make sure that they're going to get the job done. They've always got a budget, but they want to obviously make sure that they're not going to end up with egg on their face and people not enjoying. So I think we want to get over that it's kind of a trusted, kind of friendly customer experience that people are going to get.
Brilliant.
And that alongside the kind of the quality, I think those have got to be our focus, because like I say, that on the face of it, there are other people who can do what we do. And it's just kind of how we get that over to the customers.
Yeah. Do you have a lead time into your orders? If it was a corporate order or individual orders, what's the scenario?
We do have a lead time, so with the corporate ones, we ask for at least 4 days' notice, but obviously that depends on the size of the order. We are able to turn things around quite short notice, but the busier we get, the less able we are to do that. People usually, with the corporate things, people usually come to us quite last minute. There are some people who will come and plan in like a year in advance or a couple of months in advance, but most people, we kind of write down on a priority list, so they'll sort everything out and then they'll think, all right, we need to get the cake sorted. We did have a thought of trying to educate the customers a bit more and make sure that they know they need to give us more time, but it's a tricky one, because if they do need them then and there, then you either kind of take the order or you move the order. So I say 4 days because it doesn't take us that much to get them dispatched.
Okay. That's great. I think just the final area that we need to cover is just about your current marketing. So what do you do currently? And then on top of that, how does technology support your business and your marketing efforts? So if we talk about current marketing first, who are you responsible for that as well?
Yeah, so that's what I try and concentrate on. But the place that the business is at the moment is that I'm kind of wearing a lot of different hats, so I don't get to concentrate on it as much as I'd like. Our main advertising is via Google Ads. I think that is where the majority of our inquiries come through, but it's a very expensive option for us.
Is that pay-per-click that you do?
Sometimes we're paying £5, £6, £7 per click for some of those to come through. It's quite competitive.
It is the cupcake market, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people do it, and I guess that is the main way of investing in some kind of promotion.
Yeah, and I don't think that I know our ads need to be better, because they're not. Say like one of the top other ads, they're all about a crazy cupcake sale and they're from £1 a cake. I think what we need to do is something the opposite for that if that's not what our point of difference is. We're getting a lot more organically now on Google. We do try and SEO the pages and look for keywords. And then the other thing would be social media. So and LinkedIn, especially for the B2B stuff, LinkedIn is a great place to kind of cultivate leads. I'd say that's the main marketing ways. We don't do. We do have an email list, and I do send periodic marketing emails, but not something that we haven't got funnels, we haven't got automations. It's quite an ad hoc situation on that.
Okay, and your social media, is that do you do that if and when?
Try to do the social media posts at least once a day on all the platforms. And I've tried to mix it up between personalised boxes and the corporate boxes. We focus quite a lot just on corporate stuff, but I don't think it looks quite as interesting. So I think it's quite nice to pepper in, like some Mother's Day boxes, and I think it also helps show the quality as well. So that's what I'm kind of hoping with bringing that in more, that it might actually help boost the corporate side as well.
So you use Facebook, Instagram,
Twitter and LinkedIn.
And then in terms of technology in your business, I noticed you've got an online chat.
Yeah, so I would say that I think that's probably the main place where we try to introduce something like that. But we have found that that's quite good, because I think it takes a barrier down for people getting in touch. Some people just don't have time, or they don't want to send a full inquiry and wait for a response. So we do actually get quite a few little things coming through like that way, and actually they're usually more of the last minute things. So they do usually lead to orders, which I've just had a couple come through that way in the last few days. Whereas email, sometimes you send a quote back and it's a bit more difficult because they're just waiting on quotes from other companies. And they all come back, and it gets compared very much on price, which is why we need to kind of get the point of difference across a bit more.
Yeah, that's a good facility to do that, isn't it? Well, that honestly, really interesting business, really well done. It sounds exciting, with a lot of opportunity, a lot of hard work as well.
Helena, I've got a couple of questions, short questions.
Yeah.
This is specifically for the students. Could you just summarise the challenges that you face as an SME?
Yeah, I think it's competing with large businesses. I try to give us quite a professional look online. So I think that as you kind of shop front, on the face of it, I think we look like we compete with them, and we can actually do the quantity, but it's having the budgets and the experience to get up to make sure that we are on more of a level playing field with them. It's a lot of a chicken and egg thing, I think, with marketing. You need to market to get the business in, but if you don't have the business in, it's difficult to do your marketing. So I'd say I know we need to start with the marketing, but it's a tricky situation.
Sure.
Do you do your own website? Sorry to jump in. Do you do your own website, or do you have a company that supports that?
I've done that website. We have actually got a website that has been developed for us by an agency, and it's just waiting on some bits and pieces to get finished, and it's got a lot more of a professional look than the one that we've got now. So I am hoping that will help as well, and I think it should be a bit easier to navigate than the one that we've currently got. I can send through some shots of it, just so you can see. It's not drastically different, it's just a bit more organised, and it's got a bit of a cleaner look.
Right, lovely.
Yeah. If you could also just summarise what you consider your USP for the students.
Yeah, so I think that our USP is based more around the fact that we are a small business. So I think even when we get to a larger size, which we will do, I don't want to lose those core kind of smaller business values of being able for customers to get in touch and talk to somebody. I think that's very important, and it gives them a lot of confidence. And I never want to lose the handmade element of it, and the fact that we don't use margarine in the cakes. The cakes have got very simple ingredients that you would use at home or professional bakers would use. So we would never use vanilla essence. It's always like a Madagascar vanilla extract. If it's our lemon cupcakes, we hand zest the lemons and squeeze lemon juice in. So there's no synthetic flavours, there's no vegetable oils and margarines in them. And and the look of them as well. If you compared side by side, there's not really a comparison. Ours look a lot better quality. So it's finding a way of getting that over to our clients.
Okay, and my last question, within a 3-year time frame, where would you like to be in your business?
I'd definitely like to be in a much bigger bakery with much bigger capacity. I'd like to have some sort of trusted kind of marketing machine, I would call it, for getting in the corporate clients. I'd like to be in there a lot less. And also we wanted to have built up the personalised side. So we want to be sending out large volumes of these individual kind of boxes of 6 or treat boxes that are personalised. And those two parts of the business working really well together is where I see it.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No problem.